Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to RTO Season 6, the 8-round competition with 16 races, pitting 3 divisions against themselves over the 8 rounds. We have had some incredible racing so far. The qualifying hasn't been too bad either. Let's be serious. We started at Misano, but we're off to the Nürburgring, then Laguna Seca, Donington last week out. Big changes up at the top of the table as we saw. My name, John Wright, aka Double O Raven. My pleasure to once again be bringing you all the action from this evening's 2 races, 2 25-minute races, reverse order grid in race number 2. The cars rejigged back into their classes, pros, silvers and AMs, of course, sponsored by Luke Addison Racing, a platform where you can develop further as a sim racer in Assetto Corsa Competizione through setups and coaching. He wants to help people who share his interest in sim racing by creating setups that can help you get your lap times down by having a setup that is stable, fast and consistent. And he also offers coaching if you need guidance on where to find those extra tenths, or certainly in my case, seconds that you are missing. A little progress each day adds up to big results. So get yourself over to Luke Addison's setups, Luke Addison website. I can strongly confirm the 296 setups are absolutely excellent, from much personal experience at Watkins Glen and Silverstone. But enough of my beleaguered abilities out on track. That shouldn't quite be there, but anyway, Luke Southall leading the championship, 3-driver, the SOP3, 2 wins apiece. See a 25-point gap between Southall and Page. Peter Brett on 245, only 5 ahead of Sigurd Revzig. Revzig only 3 points ahead of his teammate Watts, who does have a race win. Shows you how close that is. Andre Dixon Chen with some good results. 226 points. Jordan Watson in 7th. Ben Nergard in 8th place. Elliot Simpson in 9th. And James Whittaker in 10th place in the Mercedes. In the silvers, it's Paul Sidlowski who is bringing home the bacon for RTO. 309 points see him comfortably 47 points ahead of Christoph Holzer in the Huracan. It's Ryan McCord making it 2 BMW in the top 3. Oh, thankfully that wasn't on screen. That was quite the collision out the last corner. Excuse me, Richard Gasson in 4th place, Marcel Schneepman in 5th, Adam Douglas in 6th place at the moment, York Sharinga in 7th, it's Cormac Quinn in 8th, Nick Cooper in 9th and Tom Solis in 9th position. Moritz van Cloverdon in the McLaren rounding out the top 10, but he is only 3 and 7 points respectively ahead of Lovrek and Sedivi. So very close there, with still, of course, 6 races to go. Wesley Holmes and Lawrence leading the way in the ARMS, been pretty dominant in there. 337 points, another big gap up at the top of the tables, 47 points. 12 points separating Daniel Zlatnik in 2nd place, Colin Heselton in 3rd, Toby Lowen in 4th place there on 181, 90 points behind the top 3. Listovsky only 7 points behind 4th place, so a big gap, the top 3. There'll certainly be a welcome addition into the silvers next season, as David Blythe, we can see, only a point behind Listovsky, so it is unbelievably close. He's got Alpha Dogmeat only 3 points adrift, and 4 points back Craig Winter, who's only 11 points ahead of Jack Duffy. Ben Knight rounding out the top 10 in the last of the ARMS to be over the 100 point mark. Brian Bond behind him on 89 points. Now the drivers will be out qualifying very shortly indeed. But as I say, we have still got... Oh, in fact, I'm massively wrong. We've got 8 races left to go. My apologies, we've got 2 races tonight. I don't know where I was getting that from. We've got Zandvoort next week, and then it is, of course, 2 of the toughest turn 1s in racing, Suzuka and then Monza. I still maintain that Suzuka is far more difficult. There we go, qualifying will start very soon. The AMs will come out and qualify first, then the Silvers and the Pros. We'll get 9 minutes. It is the Hungaroring this evening, 2.7 miles long, but 1986. So one of the younger tracks on the calendars. It has been fairly unchanged since. Of course, the start-finish straight has been lengthened in turns 11 through 12. Have seen a bit of a facelift. Slightly straighter than when the track first started. It is, of course, in Hungary. 14 corners in total, 6 to the left, 8 to the right. Only 35 metres of elevation change, so nothing too drastic. And the longest straight just over half a mile long. And I can see that over Paul Sadlowski's rear spoiler there. It is a warm one, so not massively expecting the quickest of times. 36 degrees at the minute. We'll see what it is for quali. We'll get the drivers out on track. Here we go. Green light, go, go, go. Yes, please, thank you very much. We'll see Lucas Listowski. It was interesting to see some of the liveries that didn't work last week working in the opening highlights. Fun time, so hopefully we get to see a lot more of them during the race as well. And here we go, to get the time of that as well. The drivers out on track. Of course, as I say, sponsored by Luke Addison. A lot of progress each day adds up to big results. So get yourself over to Luke's website, get yourself some setups, or indeed book yourself in for some coaching. Absolutely well worth the trip over. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whichever part of the world it is you are in. Excuse me. It is warm and dry this evening. 9,000 RPM, 9k from the UK. Andre Dixon Chen not able to race this evening. Good evening in the broadcast. Welcome in. Connor Me in the chat as well. Yo, yo. But Simon Baggeson, of course, time to rectify Donington. Says Simon, need to get back to winning ways. 9k. Wholeheartedly disagreeing with that sentiment, it would appear. Liam is pretty much my rival in this. He's going to pull ahead because I'm missing this round. So no. So there we go. Linksy in the chat as well. Alright, my lover. I hope that was the correct accent, by the way. I learned that at the Leeds Festival in 2007. Nicholas in the chat. Yo, good evening. Cranky be sandbagging. Who be cranky? Would be the next question. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's Daniel Zlatnik. Will we call him Daniel all evening, or will it be one of the 24 men's names beginning with D that I googled this afternoon? Who knows? He's out on track in the Team Snail Esports livery. He's got Alpha Dog Me now. His livery worked in the opening. Hurrah! Simple things that doth keep me amused. But yeah, no, it's good to see the liveries are working. That's the thing, you just never know sometimes. That may be the livery. We shall see, we shall see. Let's see if Brian Bonds is working. It's got the red, white and the green on it. Daniel Woodcock. In fact, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully the drivers can check. There is, of course, the Team Snail Ferrari. That's not actually a Ferrari. It is indeed an Aston Martin. But still, We do love all the drivers that are on track. I'm not biased towards Ferrari, you are. We've got the pros still in. This is of course the ARMS that are out on track at the moment. They get 9 whole minutes to qualify. The generosity from the league organiser, Mr. Joe Boyle. Just, and of course it was a measly 8 minutes last season. So he's, really has gone that in the driver's favour there. That extra 1 minute, of course, that'll be invaluable at places like Spa, which isn't on the calendar, but I'm going to throw him under the bus for that one anyway. Letoski crosses the line, first arm to set a time, and it is a 1:46.5. Here comes Bond, Brian Bond, licensed to race in Hungary. He's in the Ferrari. He's 3/10 off the arm pole at the minute. Zlatnik is just exiting turn 12 there by the look at it. Listovski, 4500s, the 2 BMWs. They are inseparable over the front there. You're going to need a crowbar to wrench those two apart there over the top of the timing boards. Looking very quick. Let me know how the sound is. Again, always striving for perfection. If the sound, if you're getting enough game sound, please do let me know. Oh, Paul Sidlowski. Right, got you. Links it in the chat. Can confirm I can be nice sometimes. Still out on track. We've got the let's have a look at Boom. Thanks very much. I'm here all week. Tip your waitress. Try the steak. Daniel Zlatnik, Team Snail Ferrari, leading the Ferrari charge against the BMWs. 5500s, 100 behind Listovski, over 2.7 miles in qualifying here. I mean, they don't call this track the Hungaroring for nothing. It is a bit difficult to get the overtakes done here. We will see some pretty solid racing, I'm absolutely sure. Whatever fool in the chat, good evening. How are you doing, young man? How is life in Canada treating yourself? Kawasaki in the chat, can't wait for next week. Then I will be back racing. Cheers from Wesley, by the way, joined TSE, nice. Thank you for tuning into the broadcast. Whatever fool, of course, streamer on Twitch. He does ACC open lobbies on PC in the North American time zone. So if you are in the North American time zone and you're looking for someone to have a race with, and despite the name Whatever Fool, he doesn't tolerate fools gladly. So I can confirm he has nice clean lobbies, and if there is ever a problem, the person is dealt with to sweet forthwith. So yeah, can definitely recommend it as a place to race. Of course, if you're in the European time zone, Linksay is the man. Linksay_DSY on Twitch. Make sure you jump over there. He is the league organiser. He's the one that puts this all together. He's got an academy for the ARMS. He does open learning nights. He will teach you tracks, not just tell you add a few clicks here and a few clicks there. He, like me, is a strong advocate of the Luke Addison setups, and I'm sure those are the ones he uses when he's doing his teaching. And he will teach how to drive the tracks. Some phenomenal improvements. He made me 4 or 5 seconds quicker at the Nürburgring. I was hovering the 2 minutes marks, and he's got me down into the low 55s. Or 55.9, 54.9. Ridiculous. And that was in the 480 Evo back in the days. Absolutely. There we go. There is Linksay. Perfect. And make sure as well, please, free subscribe on YouTube. Hit the bell. Get the notifications. And get yourself involved in the racing action. And you want to talk about action? Look at the time so far. They are swapping hand over fist. The temperature is getting hot in here. Not just on the timing tower, but on track as well. 38 degrees it's gone up to from the practice session. Lucas Listovski, what a drive he's having. 1:45.5. Colin Heselton, still 2 BMWs. Up at the top it is Neil Woodcock, commentator. Humble Pie must be eaten at this point. He is ahead of his Team Snail teammate in the Ferrari. Now, I don't want to be seen to be biased in any way, shape or form. Come on, David! Daniel! Seen it, because someone mentioned that in Lynx's chat, I'm going to get that wrong all night. That is once again very dry in here. I never thought as a Scotsman to say this, but bring on the cold weather. That's not what I want to spend. That's what we want to do. There we go. So just send the link, and as well if you can actually, if you are feeling that way inclined, at the bottom there you'll see a little button that says share. It pops up with a window. Hit copy. Throw that in your Discord groups, on your Facebook pages, on your Twitter. Let's get some more people involved in the broadcast as well. Always the best way to support the communities that are putting on all of the racing. Yeah, getting eyes on, and let's all face it, we're all racing drivers. You've all got egos, okay? Don't deny, testify. FPS Coops in the chat. Hello, chat. It's a shame I can't race. Good luck to all. What was his name? Darian. I think it was. Declan? Demetrius! That's what it was. Whatever it is, he is quick. He is coming across the line. He's 7,300 less than a tenth. He does get ahead of Nige Woodcat, who I do keep calling Neil for some reason as well. I don't know what it is. I really love the liveries. Absolutely nothing against this team. I don't know why I can't get either of your names wrong. Can't get either of your names wrong. Can't get either of your names right. Purple Burglar Alarm. Yep, no, Raven.exe does seem to be responding at the moment. The pros, they're responding to their call to get out on track. I can't even bring up the timetables properly now. But it all went the way of the pair when he tested positive for stupidity. Lucas Latowski, it is a BMW still, and it's two BMWs still in the top three. It's Latowski, though, taking the top spot. Three different drivers with purple sectors. I do love it when that happens. Hazel and 2/10 off pole position for the AMS, but still purple's sector 1 in the BMW. It's a Ferrari. Daniel, David, Demetrius, Johnson, Zlatnik, who is in second. Nigel Woodcut in fourth. Ben Knight in fifth. It's Duffy and Bond in sixth. Alpha Dog meet on row 4 side by side with Bond, and it is Blythe in ninth position. 2.3 seconds off the pace with a 1:47. 1:47.920, 45.5 for the AM leader, so a more than a respectable time. Oh, Darryl, yep, there we go, we're going to have that. Missing tonight's race is Lou 51, have fun all. Definitely, we can take that timing down now, can't we? Yeah, let's watch some cars on track. This one please, Bob, thank you very much. Yeah, let's do that. Let me know if the onboard is too loud as well. I do need to do a bit more work balancing the sound, but there should be a bit of an improvement this time out. Fingers crossed. Let me see if I can just catch up with the chat while the silvers and the pros throw some times in. Okay, so yeah, Lynxy, ACT CCTV isn't working. I'm not streaming, I'm not even streaming, and it's still a Lynxy stream, hey. Of course we will Les Racing next week, excellent. Lynxy saying good evening to Whatever Fool channel, and great to hear you have Raven here. Yeah, to be honest, Whatever Fool, it's an absolute pleasure of mine to be here. Like I say, Lynxy is one of the genuinely nicest guys in sim racing. I know there's lots of little corners of sim racing, and there's cliquey, and people feel it's a bit elitist at times and stuff, and let's call it like it is. I've experienced a bit of that myself. Not too much, but yeah, there's genuinely nice people in sim racing, and Lynxy is phenomenal. Like I say, he's open lobbies much like yours. You get in, you get good racing, and he's quick as well. Fool, like Like 216s at Spa. Yeah, that quick. Yeah. Like I'm happy at getting 55s at the Nürburgring, and there's seconds between. But yeah, and he will teach you. He'll teach you how to track. He'll teach you why this bit of tarmac is what to aim for. Why to put your wheel on these curbs. Why not to put your wheel on these curbs. And yeah, I can't say enough nice things about Joe. And I've actually had the pleasure of watching a UFC event with him, as he was filling his face with a doner kebab after he'd finished his part-time job as a DJ. Yeah, he has made a huge change and great to see. Awesome channel. This is good fun. Yeah, the guy is the best. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm not great at taking compliments, so let's just crack on. Luke Southall. There we go. I wonder if he can take a compliment. He can certainly take a pole position and a race win. He has got that Porsche absolutely dialed in, track after track after track after track. 2 race wins. Oh, but his teammates keeping him honest. Go on, the Liam Page in the silvers. He of barbed wired livery. Love a livery with barbed wire on it. So classy. And I genuinely mean that. When I played, I know I've bored you all with this story before, but I played Need for Speed back in the day. Pearlescent blue with gold barbed wire up the side. Oh yeah, that's how I rocked it. Gas on in the Mercedes leading the way. Sidlowski's livery is still not working. He's in RTO. I'm just something. We move on. Let's have a bit of free cam of Gasson's livery. There we go. Because again, driving these cars is one thing. Doing liveries is entirely another skill set that you just cannot comprehend until you've tried it. To get this level of pattern around the components of this car, like even just little touches like that are just, yeah, incredibly well done. To get, I mean, yeah. There we go. Lorek in the chat. Good evening. How are we doing? Brian Bond. Beep beep. I do a 216 at Spa easily as well. Wearing my Blanchimont. Yeah, I did a 216 at Spa once as well. And then I woke up, put the light on, put my slippers on, and got on with the day. I'm on the couch with my phone, knackered today. Lorek not going to be racing tonight. That is an amazing livery, says Nicholas. It is. That's, yeah, anybody think it was a favourite of mine. There is still qualifying going on, and it's Luke Southall in the Porsche. He's not here to be outdone by his teammate Elliot Simpson. He's down one teammate this evening. He's up a few positions in qualifying. He's got half a tenth over Ferrari guided missile. Liam Page secured Revzig. Finds himself 2/10 ahead of his teammate, and he's got Jordan Watson separating them. Has Revzig's just gone quicker? Oh no, 2/10 he has, sorry. Watson, oh, I told you, even the qualifying here is absolutely off the charts. Look at the difference in time between Gasson and Tom Solis. What is that, a tenth? 0.105 second there. Ryan McCord as well. He's done a 44.3. Tom Solis 44.3. Gasson 44.1. Sidlowski 44.4. Van Coverdon 44.4. 44.5. Yorkshire Ringa is the driver you want to see. Luke Southall with a 43.0. Simpson 43.1. Then a half a, sorry, 43.0, 43.1, 43.2, 43.2, 43.4, 43.4. I'm droning on and on. Scotland's answer, the poor man's answer to Eminem. I could probably turn that into a song, but that is, yeah, incredible stuff. Alpha Dog Meat, doing a livery is like gift wrapping a space hopper. Alpha Dog Meat, I'm not even going to apologise for stealing that, so thank you very much indeed. YouTube remove my message, just sent the heart. Oh, I know we can see a heart there. Look, good evening, how are you? Close to the arms this week as well. It's incredibly close right through the field. Like, you need to, I mean, look at this up in front, 2,500 separating Page and Southall. Page is ahead, and Page is going quicker. Dan Watts in 4th, Whitaker in 9th. The arms is ridiculous. There's no way any mere mortal could keep up with just how close it is. I mean, Ryan McCord, half a tenth behind Solace, who's only half a tenth behind Van Coverdon, who's 3/4 of a tenth behind Gasson. And that's just the silvers. Liam Page and Luke Southall, as just mentioned, 2,500 separating these two at the top, and both of them still looking to improve. So too Dan Watts, out on track now ahead of Revsig by a massive 5 thousandths of a second. An absolute lifetime between the two of them. 1 minute 43.247 for Watts and a 1 minute 43.252 for secured Revsig, and Watts is still out on track. Can he hammer the nail home any further? He's already ahead of his teammate, which is where he needs to be for championship purposes, and he didn't get to finish that lap. Will we get the correct timetable? No, we won't, so we will cheat and jump in. No, we won't, because it won't let us go to the garage either. Phenomenal stuff. We hold our breaths as we wait to see what the actual times were, but what we do know from those exchanges there is that all the pros got ahead of all the silvers. First time this season. Liam Page and Luke Southall leading the way. Elliot Simpson getting velocity. Esports up onto the front 2 rows of the grid. He will be joined by Dan Watts. Secured Revsig on row 3 side by side with Jordan Watson. I've seen some serious pace out of him so far in the races. And Peter Brett, one of the SOP3 outside the front 3 rows of the grid. Ben Nergard is what we were reaching for there in 8th place. James Whitaker in 9th. And then in 10th place it is Richard Gasson, held on to the silver pole position. Van Coverdon will join him on row 1 for the arms. Row 5 and 6, they will actually start, and Tom Solis and Ryan McCord taking 3rd and 4th in the silver. Sidlowski, championship leader in 5th. Sharinga in 6th. Holzer in 7th. And then it is Cormac Quinn and Marcel Schneepman 7th and 8th. And then, of course, and interestingly as well, all of the ARM drivers finishing qualifying behind the silvers. Again, that is something we have not seen this season. So yeah, the Hungaroring proving to be very much a separator for the drivers. So we'll see how they get on in the race. Of course, a 25-minute sprint followed by a 25-minute sprint. Oh yeah. We'll try and keep an eye on as much of the action as possible. Again, apologies to the arms at Donington. I gave a lot of coverage to the drivers up at the front as I was watching it back last week. The battles up there were incredible though. And we will keep an eye on as close to fights as possible while keeping track of everything that we've got down the field. There is the green lights, it's foot down, it's flat out, and it's straight into turn number 1, and the BMW coming straight under pressure from Jordan Watson into turn number 1. They spread wide into turn number 1, and it is very nicely done in the opening exchanges. And Jordan Watson getting his way up to 3rd. I did say he's got pace in the race, and he's got it right off the start line as well as the velocity. McLaren comes under all kinds of pressure. There is a quadruped of RTO cars in the background on the front bonnet of Jordan Watson's car. He's still is he in 4th, is he in 5th? He's side by side with someone. He's made it up a couple of positions easily. No, he's not side by side. He does have Revsig behind him, so not quite getting the job done on Simpson. Down is in the silvers. It is Gasson. Paul Sidlowski is up to 2nd position. Right, okay, we're watching this one from the start. So Paul Sadlowski, did he qualify? No, no. Okay, let's have a look at this one. As Raven.exe quickly resets, Sadlowski is up to second position. So in the turn number 1, he starts well down the order. Full send round the outside. He goes side by side with Gasson into turn number 1. They're 3 wide on the way in. Never mind the drivers up the front. He does run a bit wide there, but he does keep his foot in it, so potential track warning. We saw lateral movement on the back of the BMW, so the AstroTurf definitely not where you want to light up those back tyres. Comes in to the end of sector number 1, sails it up the inside, and that is beautiful moves. What a run off the line he got. He's putting Sadlowski under Gasson under unbelievable amounts of pressure already. Incredible start by Gasson. 5 positions he's just made it up in the opening exchanges, and that's why he is the Silver Championship leader right there. The Hungaroring can't overtake. Enter Paul Sadlowski. What a start he's got. Down in the arms it is Zlatnik. He is still leading the way. Heselton, sorry, he's not. Listovsky has dropped out on a couple of positions, and he is down 2 places. We'll miss that on the replay. Ben Knight is in 4th with Woodcrate. Woodcrate still hanging on to 5th position. Holzer down at the back of the field for the Silvers. Zlatnik, very close battle going on there up at the front. Not much to separate the leaders in the overall and in the pro. They are the pro race, the overall race leaders, of course. I don't know where that one came from, but RTO Racing have got themselves a bunch of drivers bunching up through the Hungaroring. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle this, because they do have Peter Brett in the Lamborghini planked right in the middle of them. Refsing and Watts have got Nergard and Whittaker surrounding Brett behind them. Watson has got himself a good run on Elliot Simpson again. No, he doesn't. It's the McLaren that does some good running out of turns 9 and 10. Heading down through 12 under the bridge. Heavy braking zone here. We'll see Watson close right up over that curve. Again, another one of these tracks that really invites you out onto some of that curve and to extract as much lap time as possible. We're not going to see them go as quick as we've seen potentially. 39 degrees the track is up to. It does say optimum conditions. 39 degrees, I can assure you, is not optimum for grip. It is only a 25-minute race, so it won't be massively detrimental, as you'll see Woodcut all over the back of Knight. And in fact, Woodcut down a position then, so trying to make one back. Listovsky trying to catch back up to Heselton, who's putting all kinds of pressure. Another driver that's been getting it done in the race as well. Colin Heselton looking good. Oh, and up ahead we've got battles going on for position. That's Sadlowski, I believe, that was on his way, and that's how close they are. That is the Silver second place just going ahead. They were going side by side into turn number 1. Tom Saul is coming under a bit of pressure. Schneepman and McCord have traded positions as well. Zlatnik leading the way in the arms. Sorry, got caught up by an incident popping up there, which doesn't look like it's an actual incident, but it is Southall and Pace still leading the way. Elliot Simpson has clocked the fastest lap of the race so far. Missed that start. Was there any drama? The biggest mover and shaker in the opener was Paul Sadlowski, making it up to second position. He took an absolute flyer off the start line and got himself well positioned up at the front. The top 3 doing their best to break away, and of course Jordan Watson getting himself up to third position. He's just been overtaken by Sigurd Revsik. So let's see what happens here then. We're going to catch this one on camera. Yeah, so let's see what's happening here then. So Jordan Watson coming to the right in the sector 2 actually. So he's looking really quick all over those curves. Again, one of these tracks where you really do abuse those outer limits as much as possible. Coming towards the chicane, full commitment over these curves, of course, since the 1.9 update. Oh, and that's exactly what it is. It's the chicane. He's lost the back end of the car, and Revsik said thank you very much indeed. So Watts qualified ahead of Revsik. Revzig doing some good running. He's 3 points ahead of his teammate in the standings. A teammate that's only just beaten by 6 points in the SOP Championship. 2 seasons on the trot. Phenomenal racing between the two of them. Oh, Dreambound is disconnected. No way. Marcel Snapeman. Disconnected there. South Holland Page 4/10 of a second separating them. Gasson and Sidlowski still doing battle for the lead of the silver, and it's much the same in the lead of the AMS. Latnik is leading the way, but that BMW is looming large in the rear view mirror. Heselton's got Listowski not far behind either. No pit stops. This is a straight shootout. So it is a straight shootout to the end. Hungaroring, I've just said it there, Hungaroring, as I said, Hungaroring. Fairly famous for being difficult to get overtakes done. We've seen some so far, mostly driver error ahead, gifting positions by the minute. Dan Watts looking for an overtake potentially into turn number 1. Can he get the exit he needs? He's certainly going to be chasing the car that's getting the slipstream ahead. Is he close enough to benefit from the double slipstream from the two punching through the air ahead of him into turn number 1? Heavy on the brakes. The Lamborghini, as I think about it, up the inside, he is wide of that apex. You can see the lateral movement on the back of the Lamborghini as the BMW of Watts chases him down into turns 3 and 4. He's got his teammate Revzig just ahead of him. Can these two potentially work together to get Watts ahead of him? Of course, it is an individual event when your teammates there. Do you throw them a helping hand? Jordan Watts, we've seen he's got the race prowess and knowledge to get those overtakes done. Can he potentially use the two teammates against one another to try and secure himself a few positions? Tom Solis trying to secure a few positions, and in fact, oh, he's not quite ahead of Vancouver then, my apologies. Not able to recognise the new livery that's just updated. Good to see a lot of them have. But no, so Vancouver, they're coming under pressure from Solis still. Down in the arms is Latnik, now seeing 8/10 between himself and Heselton. Listowski still third place in this little group. Did we get a good rear view? Oh yeah, that's right, the BMW really does have a good rear view mirror for passenger car. Oh, we like that. So there we go. Listowski started in pole position, now in third place. Ben Knight, you can see looming in the background in that Mercedes Woodcut, up into fifth, still in fifth position ahead of Blythe and Duffy. Alpha Dogmeat down in 25th position, just ahead of Brian Bond. Those two battling out at Donington last week. Looks like that battle is going to resume once again this week. Liam Page trying to get involved in a battle with Luke Southall, but the Porsche driver is once again showing exactly why he is leading the championship. He is leading the race. He has not put a foot wrong. The consistency of lap time is borderline horrifying. His quickest lap of the race, a 1 minute 43.367. His previous lap there was a 1 minute 43.442. As you do, as you do. Liam Page in second, Elliot Simpson still bringing the fight for the non-SOP teams. It's, yeah, of course, the SOP3 leading the way, and Simpson in the Velocity Esports McLaren. I'm sure 9K wholeheartedly cheering him on, sitting him on the podium. Wholeheartedly cheering him on as he is sitting on the podium at the moment. And purple burglar alarm is apparently difficult. Who knew? The BMW of Dan Watts still all over the back of Watson. It's going to be a long 15 minutes for Watson between these two drivers. James Whittaker looking to do battle with his teammate Ben Nergard once again as they make their way into sector number 3. It is the two Mercedes that are duking it out. Don't want to duke it out too much though. That are going to bring the battle that does involve another one of their teammates right into their lap. A 3-wide invitation could certainly be getting sent out pretty soon if Whittaker can't get the drop on Nergard, or the two of them to pick up just a couple of tenths. I think they need to find, because Gasson and Sadlowski, as you can see, very close indeed. Still a lot of battles going on in the silvers. McCord and Cormac Quinn, unbelievably close still. These two are, since the start of the race, McCord getting a couple of overtakes done himself. He's got Quinn right under that rear spoiler though as they exit the last corner. Very reminiscent, of course, of the final corner at the Nürburgring. Of course, a bit older, we're not too far away. Oh, in the background, Ben Knight. I do use the word background far too often, but it is Ben Knight just down the road. He's under that rear spoiler of the BMW. Has a look up the inside. Is he going to get the car rotated? Oh, the BMW ahead has run deep. The Mercedes is going to sail on past. Surely he is indeed. Nigel Woodkit in the background for Team Snail. The Aston Martin is going to close in on this one as well. So that is a good solid overtake there by Knight. Latowski now finds himself down in 4th position. So a huge fall from grace there for the arm pole sitter. Liam Page takes the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 43.280. Elliot Simpson's fastest lap 1:43.290. I mean, mind-blowing. I use the word mind-blowing a lot as well, and that really is, yeah, the consistency, how closely matched they are for lap times as well. It's just absolutely frightening. Precision driving right through the field. I'm going to credit that a lot, of course. A lot of these drivers are very quick. A lot of them, of course, getting lessons from Linksay. And yeah, it's definitely showing. Phenomenal battle up at the front. 7/10 equilibrious gaps Liam Page has front and back at the minute. It's a Porsche ahead and a McLaren behind. Gratuitous on board Ferrari. Yes, please. Thank you very much. He is the fastest driver on track at the minute by a whopping 100th of a second. Dan Watts is still all over the back of Jordan Watson, who's now dropping a bit of pace to Revzig. Revzig enjoying the heat that his teammate is putting on to Watson. Let's see how close. Oh, Elliot Simpson dropping down a bit there, not getting a good run out of 3 and 4. Let's see if Watts can make... Oh, and he's gone! He's gone there. Jordan Watts in the back of the Lamborghini said no thank you. It really did not want to make its way around that corner. So here we see then, out of turn number 1, the Lamborghini. Ooh, extra bit of braking there, gets a good rotation. Here you can hear the foot down nice and early then. Unfortunately the rear view mirror doesn't work well in the replay camera. Let's have a look at this one on the curb. Oh, and yep, all kinds of stepped out on him there. And that is a lot of sideways motion with your foot on the brakes. The tyres in a stationary, not rotating, but are sliding. That is a flat spot. Jordan Watson down to 13th. He's now going to have to get past Sadlowski and Gasson, who are having a bit of a battle themselves as they come towards the final few corners. Sadlowski having a look around the outside, opens a corner up. Is he going to get the cutback done here? Doesn't quite get the exit to get it done there. Again, looking to open up the corner, try and get the turn in, try and get as much momentum on the exit as he can. He hits that curve absolutely perfectly. So the battle has not given up any up at the front of the Silvers. In the arms, Latnick and Hazelton separated by 6.5. Sadlowski having a look up the inside of turn number 1. He certainly signalled no defensive move from the Mercedes. He hangs on to the lead of the Silvers. In fact, Van Coverdon is ahead of Watson as well, so he's got all 3 of the Silvers ahead of him. Ryan McCord has got himself a Ferrari overtake underway as he leaves at turn number 1. Is Sol's going to manage to hang on to this? Is the BMW going to go for the cutback? He's got a car position on the inside. It's going to be the outside of the corner he really needs to be. They both absolutely beautifully leave exactly the right amount of room as was required to make that work, and Ryan McCord really did make that one work. That is a phenomenal overtake there by Ryan McCord. He beautifully set that up. He forced the Ferrari onto the inside line because he was on the outside on this corner. I meant the Ferrari had to brake a lot heavier there. The wider you are, and the wider, of course, you go in the corner, the more momentum you can carry. He's got the outside line. The Ferrari, more than aware of that, handles the car absolutely beautifully. So too does McCord, and as I say, that is a textbook overtake. Who can't overtake at the Hungaroring? Team RTO certainly can, and that is another one in the books there. Ryan McCord up to 4th place in the silvers. Incredible moving. Sharinga looks like he's trying to pull off one as well. He's got the kind of fast, kind of slow racing team Lamborghini sitting in 6th place at the minute. He's got Cormac Quinn just ahead of him. Look, Southall now, look at 410s. Look how close they've got up at the front. 9 minutes left. And the SOP2 doing SOP things, keeping the action until the last 10 minutes of the race. James Whittaker and Ben Nergard. These two still can't decide whether they want to swap positions or not. James Whittaker seems to be all for it. Ben Nergard doesn't seem too keen at the moment. He is in 7th position. Whittaker is trying to take that 7th place from him. Liam Page's teammates is trying to hold off on the win. There is the front bumper of that Ferrari. When you can see it underneath the spoiler, they are close, I can assure you. Objects in the rear view mirror may appear closer than they actually are. Objects underneath the rear spoiler are very close. Can confirm that is a couple of tenths that are separating them right through the entire lap here, and it's not easy to be the driver in the slipstream. You lose all that downforce and aerodynamics when you hit the brakes, so your front tyres do a lot more work, and in 40 degree or on 40 degree tarmac, the tyres are cosy. They're doing a bit of work, as is the Porsche and the Ferrari really are holding on at the tarmac very, very well, though, under the guidance of Southall and Page. 9 laps in, never more than 7 tenths separating these two, and for the vast majority of those 9 laps it's been well within half a second. As they cross the line once again, only half a second separating them. The consistency, unbelievable. 100ths separating the lap time that these two have set. Whittaker and Nergard still very close over the start finish line as well. Sidlowski still trying to find his way past Richard Gasson. Gasson getting a good exit out of the last corner. That might actually be the biggest gap he's had to Sidlowski for the whole race. I don't imagine it'll stay that way for the next 7 minutes. Sharinga in the kind of fast, kind of slow racing team. This must be the kind of fast phase, because he's got his way past Cormac Quinn, and he's holding on to that position. Cormac just a little bit late on the brakes there, and yep, no, that's not the way to carry the momentum through there. Christoph Holzer in the background will be watching that one intently. In the arms, Lucas Listowski one time in 1st place. Ben Knight into the pits. Bond into the pits as well. Ben Knight into the pits. So he's going to lose out on 4th, potentially even 3rd there. Brian Bond in the pits as well. Nigel Woodcock now in position to be challenging for a podium with Lucas Listowski just ahead of him, who's back on the podium after what can only be called a ropey opening a couple of laps on drop from 1st to 4th position. He's now back up to 5th position he was in, sorry. Now back up to 3rd, and he's got Zlatnik and Heselton. They're 5 seconds up the road actually, so a bit of a gap there, so these two won't have to worry too much, I wouldn't say, as long as they don't do anything too crazy in the closing stages. They should be absolutely fine. Peter Brett coming under a lot of pressure from Whittaker and Nergard. The battling RTO teammates are now battling up onto the back of the Lamborghini, and they are getting close. Southall and Page still half a second separating those two. It is the start of another lap, and it is another lap that Southall leads Page after the two of them set lap times. Their previous laps again separated by less than 1/10 of a second, as you would expect, given the never dropping gap between the two of them. Ryan McCord looking to get past Van Coverton. This would be some handy points in the silvers if he can get this done. He got a good move done on Solis. If he can get one done on Van Coverton as well, that puts him on the podium in the silvers. He's got 5 minutes to get the work done. We'll see if he can. And speaking of 5 minutes to get the work done, can Nigel Woodcock make it to Team Snail Esports cars on the podium in the arms? That is what he's looking at the minute. The Aston Martin giving very good chase to pole sitter Listowski. Zlatnik and Heselton, a fair chunk of change up the road at the minute. Zlatnik looking good to bring home another win. Will his teammate be joining him on the podium? 6/10 separating him. Liam Page has just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 43.280. Ah, it's ridiculous. Oh no, he's not. No, he's just dropped down the order. He's just dropped down the order, that's why that's appeared. My apologies. It's just, yeah, so let's see what's happened here then. He's gone through the chicane, not the chicane. Oh, and they both had a bit of a moment through the chicane. They're very close. Oh, and on that inside curve, the car's just over-rotated. He's had to hold his brakes. His 1, 2, 3 cars, gives it a quick spin. He knows he's got to safely rejoin here, and that's not an easy place to do so. Oh, and it's punched up the traffic, and it's brought a whole lot of potential overtaking action into the closing stages, as his teammate Peter Brett did make it round the outside as well. Page dropping back in behind Peter Brett. Then he's got Nergard and Whittaker now battling behind him. So I thought a new fastest lap had been set because Page suddenly appeared in 6th position. But that is now why, and we're about to see another overtake, I believe, because Peter Brett is now once again behind Liam Page. So the two of them have swapped positions once again, so let's keep an eye on this. We've still got a couple of minutes of the race left, hopefully, so we should still see the leaders. It's just the exit out of the last corner. It's a straight drag race. The Ferrari has got the Lamborghini absolutely banged to rights here. That's better. That doesn't even seem like a fair fight. On the brakes, the Ferrari getting the job done, and the Lamborghini loses a position to the Mercedes. It is Ben Nergard who used that double slipstream absolutely beautifully, sailed the car on up the inside. The SOP driver swapping positions, and Ben Nergard diving on in there and taking a position as well. Absolute 200 race IQ there from the RTO driver to separate the SOP teammates, and it's put Peter Brett right between the two Mercedes. So it's Luke Southall leading the way in the closing stages. Elliott, Consistent, Simpson. You don't know how well something's doing its job until it doesn't do it well. Well, we've noticed how well Elliott has done his job with 2 minutes to go, because he's in 2nd position. Phenomenal race from here. Sigurd Revzig sees himself up in the 3rd. Dan Watts 4th. Liam Page under pressure in 5th for Ben Nergard, Peter Brett and James Whittaker. In the silvers, it is Gasson and Sidlowski still with separation anxiety. Only 4/10 separating those two. It's Moritz van Coverden in 3rd place, and Ryan McCord looking to make that an RTO podium as well if he can. There's going to be battles right down to the last minute and a half. You absolutely love to see this type of action right through the field, right down to the end, and it's going to be a 3-way battle. Dare I even look at the arms at the minute. Woodcock trying to get himself on the podium in the closing stages of the race as well, but Tom Solis, he is the 3rd driver in the equation. Could he be best positioned to get the overtake done by double O'Raven mathematics? He should get it done. I always say the 3rd driver is the best position. The double slipstream, as soon as the two ahead go side by side, you pick which one you want to follow. And yeah, if you back the right horse, you will win the race to get those spaces. There's less than a minute left to go, and there's a 40-degree track temperature. It's about 500 degrees in this office as we race around the Hungaroring. The leader is on the final lap. I will do my best to catch him crossing the line, but we've got a battle here for the final podium positions in the silvers. We've also got, as I say, Nigel Woodcock trying to get 2 Team Snail Esports cars on the podium in the arms. Luke Southall now got a decent gap back to Elliott Simpson, who's got a bit of breathing space to Revzig. Watts in 4th. Liam Page fending off the advances of Nergard and breaking away a bit from Brett, who's coming under all kinds of pressure, and did say these drivers could end up inviting a 3-wide with the lead for the silvers. Last lap. Here we go, strap in as Richard Gaston and Paul Sidlowski battling for the lead in the silvers, coming up against the battle for 7th position in the pros. This is going to get interesting. Gaston getting a lot of slipstream from Sidlowski's teammate Whittaker ahead. Can they all handle it through here? We saw what happened to Jordan Watts in the Lamborghini. He ended up sideways and down the order. Let's just check and see where Luke Southall is. He's about to come into sector number 3. They've got Brian Bond back out the pits. Just been lapped there as Elliot Simpson in second. We're going to check back on Sidlowski. He's still in second in the silvers. Richard Gasson still leading the way there. It is Daniel Zlatnik still leading the way in the arms. Colin Heselton in second. Listowski hanging on to third for dear life as Nige Woodcock. Pierre Brett's got a track limit penalty. He's got a drive through for track limits as Luke Southall comes round the last corner. How is that for 14 laps of racing? What a drive by the Porsche. Luke Southall, championship leader, puts another race win under the belt. And Elliot Simpson, first time on the podium this season in the McLaren. Great drive for Simpson. Revsik close behind in third position. Dan Watts fourth. Liam Page, fastest driver on the track, in fifth position. Down in the silvers, Gasson did fend off the advances of Sidlowski, who came home in second, and Van Coverdon coming under pressure from Ryan McCord out of the last corner. He's going to take the checker flag. McCord, wow, use your words, John. McCord less than 3/10 behind with Solis, only 3/10 back once again. And in the arms is Daniel Zlatnik. In the Team Snail Ferrari, Colin Heselton in second. Listowski and Nige Woodcock are going to battle out the last corner. Nige Woodcock makes a last ditch drag race for the line. He's going to finish another driver only 3/10 behind. Great drive by Team Snail. What a race that was. That was incredible. David Blythe still to cross the line. Luke Southall with yet another race win. That's his third. That now separates him again from the teammates. As soon as Blythe crosses the line, here he comes out of the last corner. Alpha Dogmeat just finishing as well. Perfecto mundo. There we go, thank you very much. We shall grab this and this and this, and we'll have a look at the official timetables, which will reveal confirmation of the wonders that we have just witnessed. Zlatnik, Heselton and Listowski find their way onto the podium in the arms. Gasson, Sidlowski and Van Coverdon in the silvers. And in the pros, Liam Page may have taken the fastest lap, but it is Southall, Simpson and Revsig on the podium in this one for the pros. Do not fear, we've got another 25 minutes still to go. Of course, RTO Season 6 sponsored by Luke Addison. A little progress each day adds up to big results, and yeah, we can see that personified out on track here. Phenomenal race all round, and we've got another one still to come. Congratulations, of course, in the arms to Woodcock, Duffy, Blythe, Dogmeat, Bond and Knight, all finishing the race 4th through to 9th. McCord almost getting on the podium, less than 3/10 behind Van Coverdon in the silver. Solis in 5th place, Scheringa in 6th, Quinn in 7th, Holzer in 8th and Schneepman in 9th place. Unfortunately, having another disconnect. And in the pros, Southall, Simpson and Revsig, as I say. Watson 4th, Page in 5th place. Nergard did finish ahead of Whittaker 6th and 7th, and Watson and Brett 8th and 9th in the pros. That certainly puts Brett's position in the top 5 under a bit of pressure. 9k from the UK. Yeah, really wishing he was racing tonight, I am sure, given those results. Let's quickly bring up a replay and see if I can get a moment or two to catch my breath. Yeah, no, let's not do that. It is RTO season number 6. It is round number 5. We have had, of course, Misano, Nürburgring, Laguna Seca and Donington all done and dusted. One outing at the Hungaroring so far. We've got 25 minutes to race here again this evening. I need to close all this down. Bear with me 2 seconds. Zandvoort next week. I absolutely love that course. Honestly, that course in F4s is one of the greatest sim racing experiences ever. Guarantee it. And then Suzuka and Monza. Monza, the much maligned turn 1 in racing, but I tell you, Suzuka, in my opinion, absolutely gives it a run for its money. When it comes to turn 1 difficulty. Yeah, what a race that was. I will throw up some highlights in a second once we get loaded back in. Hello again to everyone in the chat. Yeah, Marcel disconnecting. Stream is working just fine. I will see you guys in race 2. So we will be back in race 2. Simpson having a great race for Velocity so far, says Linksy. Seriously it is. No QoS set up on routers, that's technical stuff. Better than anything I could have done. Cracking job from Elliot, says teammate 9K. It does indeed. It does game run. Remember, if you aren't wired, Wi-Fi is unstable by nature. So some more technical stuff. Stewards, go take a break. You're not needed. Correct. Nice move from Ryan. Been so clean, which is all. Indeed, it is. Linksy. That was incredible. I was like I say, I was throwing massive amounts of shade at the track itself. Hungaroring. I've been known to call it on more than one occasion. That is for sure. But yes, certainly, the overtake's getting done tonight, and some important ones as well. That is for sure. The championships are going to be interesting. As much as you want to, physically can't. Race room plug there, Raven. Indeed. Although, massive plug to the sponsor. Broadcasting a series that's sponsored by a product you wholeheartedly believe in is, yeah, it's phenomenal stuff. And I have to say that driving the Luke Addison setups for the Ferrari 296 have certainly reignited my love for ACC and the Ferrari. So I will be spending a lot less time on race room and a bit more on ACC, it has to be said. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this running for a moment. I need to take a very quick pit stop. My apologies. Bear with me a moment or two. I'll leave this running. We will be back for race number 2 very shortly. Another 25-minute race for the drivers to take part in. It will be reverse order from race number 1. With the cars regrouped, so Watson and Brett will be ahead of the silver drivers that finish behind in the race. So the pros, AMs and silvers will be re-separated back into their groups. And again, 25-minute race. It'll be interesting to see what the track conditions are as well. 40 degrees. That's a whole lot of work for the tyres to get done. So we'll see how they run. How they run in race number 2. That does sound a bit weird, but we'll go with it for the moment. So yeah, enjoy the highlights. What on earth have I done? I was going to say, I thought I'd loaded up a Linksy. I haven't actually had a chance to do the Linksy car balance in there. But that must have been Marcel Snapeman disconnecting from the server. Wow, ACC, way to rub it in. There we go then. So yeah, so even the disconnects get captured. But yeah, the server will be back up. I need a couple of minutes very briefly, and then yeah, we'll have a look at the highlights, and we'll get some more racing brought to you by RTO. Marcel in the chat confirming that was indeed him. There's another look at that overtake then for McCord on Solace. Absolutely stunning move there. Much like, was it the same? Much like the Tango, it does take two to get an overtake done and make it happen. Here's Jordan Watson on Van Coverdon, of course the silver driver. Not going to put up too much defence here. Watson sailing on up the inside. Very nicely done. It's RTO, it's season 6, it's round number 5. Of course, if you do want to join in the leagues, you of course can. Doesn't matter what level you drive at. The league is for everyone. There's pros, silvers and AMs. Jump into the RTO Discord. Not only do you get all the leagues organised and the races to take part in, but you even get lessons from the great man himself. That's right, Joe Boyle. As part of the academy, he does do lessons per track. Takes two to tango. That's the one. I thought it was you've been tango. That's only when I'm driving, Andre. Ah yes, RPM links in the chat. Good evening, how we doing? Yeah, Coops, I did meant to say that earlier, yeah, but the stewards are definitely not needed this evening. Some incredible driving that was seen again. A track very difficult to get the overtakes done here, with the drivers very much getting them done very nicely indeed. No, I thought I had something there. There we go. So yeah, so the race 2 server will be set up very shortly. The drivers will jump in. Good evening, good evening. And when you do, this was the battle that we saw. So this is the move into turn 1 actually, where Page got back ahead of Brett and Nergard said thank you very much. Later on the brakes, throws it up the inside, keeps it well between the Mayo and the Mustard, successfully exits, and he's got the position then from Peter Brett in the Lambo. And in the background, straight behind, this is the overtake McCord on Van Coverdon. Oh, so it was the inside curve. Van Coverdon just catching that inside curve, as we saw. So this was the battle. This was leading up to the battle that we saw right at the end of the race. Cracking driving all the way through. But yeah, get yourself involved. Jump on to the Discord, and of course Linksay's Twitch channel as well, and the free subscribe button on YouTube. Ring that bell so you get the notifications for when the channel is live. The RTO Season 6 sponsored by Luke Addison Racing. We will reach and breach. We're just over the halfway mark. Yeah, round 5. So still got plenty of racing to come. You can see the patience that McCord showed all the way up. I mean, this overtake lap 13, McCord on Van Coverdon. It's just these two formation driving that we're seeing. Goes to the outside. McLaren's. Oh, it did make a little bit of contact there as McLaren moved back over to try and regain some ground. McCord ended up right out on the outside, getting the good move on the cutback then. Pulls the car back across. Did have the outside line much later on the brakes. Gets it round the outside as he was watching in the background. And the highlight director needs shot in the face. What a terrible time to cut away. But back into turn number 1 to go again. This was Solace. Oh, another bit of a bump. So this was. So this is the same overtake, but so the end of lap 13 and start of lap 14. Is this exactly the same thing, or did it? Oh no, they did do this, the same thing lap after lap, because the green Lamborghini was in the background. And here is the race winner, definitely crossing the line out of the last corner. I am indeed, my friend. How are you? Ah, okay. You're not actually on Steam at the minute, but I'll relay that. Yeah, that's fine. Fun and games. Okay, no bother, mate. I'll jump back to this. Yes, so we've just heard the technical team in the truck. Would appear the server. There's been a bit of an issue getting the second server loaded, so we will have a bit of a delay before the start of race number 2. The race itself was incredible. It was really, really good. It's going to have some interesting ramifications for the championships going forward. Let me just see if I can quickly... Oh no, in fact, there's the page I want there. Yeah, but that's fine. So yeah, it's going to be about 11 minutes and we will get the next one off and running. Again, it'll be the 25 minutes, the same, exactly the same format as race number 1, a straight 25-minute sprint race to the end. I will maybe sneak off and get myself a warm cup of tea. To top up that honey for the throat. As you see that statement. What a great battle these two were having. Honestly, the ACC servers can definitely be temperamental. With these two having a great battle in the opening stages in the silvers. So cruel to see Marcel disconnected like that. As the two Lamborghinis were battling in the background. And there we go. Marcel Schneepman embracing his inner Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So yeah, Christmas Someplace is going to be a whole lot quicker, now delivered by Mercedes. So there we go, eventually so I'll get back to it. Mercedes is actually on track. There we go. Good to see that is the two Mercedes, the two RTO Mercedes, Whittaker and Nergard. These two again had a great battle. Making up positions as well on one another and on the cars ahead. That's a good move up the inside, but a lateral movement on Whittaker's car on the way out. He did manage to control it beautifully, and of course the exit position for Nergard later on in the race when the Lamborghini went ever so slightly wayward. Latowski, yeah, Ben Knight ended up in the pits actually. I wondered if we would potentially see what happened there during the highlights, because of course during the race we saw there he got the overtake done on Lastovsky. He was trending towards a podium position in the arms. There's a nice Woodcut just behind him. But yeah, Knight, something went wrong someplace, and yeah, ended up in the pits and ejected from the podium battle. Watts putting pressure on Watson, and I think this is where we see Watson. It is lap number 8. Touches the kit in the back of that Lamborghini, and it's amazing. You can see the back of the Lamborghini starts moving, and the car sticks, moves in a direction, and the back moves a bit again. That's why it is so difficult to control the cars when you hit the tarmac like that. Watson doing well to keep it out of the wall, but certainly would have had some serious flat spots on those tyres in the closing stages. He did manage to get his way past the silvers that were ahead of him. He will start ahead of them with the reverse order grid. He'll start right at the front, in fact. So it's going to be himself and Brett and the Lambos leading the way. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. We will, in fact, I'm going to... Yeah, we'll do that. One pole, one win down. Let's get the final one this round. Come on, Pistol Pete on pole. Indeed, Simon. Yeah, it's a good position for Peter Brett to be in, for absolutely sure. Oh, that is one. There we go. But yeah, it is. It's going to be a good position for him up at the front. But he will be joined up there by Watson, so that's going to be interesting in the tournament. We want to see how the two of them get on. Not long now, 7 minutes, and we'll have the server set to go. Brett and Watson round 2 from last week now. Oh yeah, because they two had a battle last week as well actually. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, they did have a good race. They did indeed have a good race last week. Bear with me 2 seconds, we've got the technical information coming in. Yeah, cool, come in, jump in. Well, I'll tell you what, full interview mode. I'm going to, because I saw you today doing a quick stream, you've got some new Acetec equipment, a whole lot of cable management. Can confirm Linksy has generously offered to come up and do all my cable management as well because of his talents. Just unbelievably generous offer.
Yeah, if you saw it right now, you'd throw me out. It's not done yet, dude, come on.
Awesome. But yeah, how are you finding, give us a rundown on the aforementioned new equipment. What is the new toys that you've got, and what are your first impressions?
So I've got the Acetec Invicta DD. I finally, obviously I've got the pedals which were kindly sent over from Acetec for me to try, and genuinely fell in love with them. I now have the Acetec DD. I also have the long travel kit and elastomer kit for the pedals, and also the new Acetec quick release and the front mount for the rig. So basically everything apart from the wheel. So what is the Newton meterage of the wheelbase that you're using? 27.
27.
Yes.
That is
and
a big
I can honestly tell you, I was running it at 12 and in for a half an hour race, and my shoulders were killing me. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it is, and it's. I mean, it is night and day compared to the Fanatec one. To be honest with you, I mean, I've only done that one race, but you can just feel. It just feels completely different in your hands. You can feel when the car's going to do anything, whereas the Fanatec one, the wheel would react in a different way. So like if you were about to lose the rear, the wheel would automatically start to rotate in the opposite direction to try and help you counteract it, or at least give you an inkling that it was happening. Whereas the Acetec one, it kind of goes light to start with and then goes, so you know it's going to happen before it happens, so you can basically counteract it so you don't slide. It's incredible. Yeah, it's really, really, really interesting. And the quick release is just phenomenal. So basically it comes with 3 different shaft lengths, so you can have a sort of a small, I can't remember the length, I think it's 250, 100, no, yeah, 250, 150 and then 50 I think. I'll double check. But it comes with 3 lengths in there anyway, so you can set the length, extension bar that you want in the rig. And you can also, if you've got a wheel like for example, like the GSI wheel that I run, which has the USB cable that you then have to try and plug into your PC, the quick release has a USB port. So basically you can put the cable straight into the USB port, hide the cable completely inside the quick release, and have no cable showing at all if you're really good at sort of doing those sort of things. Or you can do what I've done, is just wrap it around the shaft itself, just connect it, and then the minute you connect and take the wheel on and off, the power comes from the base rather than your PC. So you save a USB port as well.
Wow.
So it's really good. And then you can literally, all you do is you just pull the latch and that all comes off, and then you just pull the latch again, push it down, and it instantly locks, and that's it, away you go. And anyone who's used a Fanatec quick release, or a quick punch yourself in the face as I've been calling it, it's night and day. It really is.
Yeah, I do have to say one thing I did notice about the I do have a DD1 that I got in the sale, and the quick release on that, I mean I get the collar quickly slides, but there's certainly no quick about the release. Well, it is very quick suddenly.
Yeah.
Quick when you're
when you suddenly sit there with a bloody nose.
Exactly. Although with my level of talent, having a DD1 is massive overkill, so I certainly can't be disparaging about it in any way. What pedals have you got, can I ask? Have you got a set of 3, or do you have just a brake and an accelerator?
So I just have the brake and accelerator from Acetec. I don't necessarily need the clutch because I don't have a shifter or anything like that, so there was no point. But I mean, if you're doing, rallying, or if you're doing, even things like Euro Truck Sim, then they're definitely worth it, because you can, you have that clutch, or if you have any use for an 8-shifter, in your rig, then definitely worth getting the clutch pedal with it as well. And you can also buy the Acertec one, so they're all separate, so you can buy each pedal individually, so you can set them the distance apart you want, and it doesn't cost much more than just buying them separately. All together.
Yeah. I have to be honest, between the Fanatec V3 pedals and the GT Omega rig, I actually had to get myself a fairly sturdy drill bit to drill the foot plate to get the pedals positioned where I want them, because I do kind of like it like a go-kart. Brake directly in front of your right foot, accelerator directly in front of your right foot, and the brake directly in front of your left foot, because let's face it, that's the one you use to brake. So yeah, I've always thought that was a bit of a design flaw. So what about, let's get right into the technical details of things. So full low cell pedal, and of course what's your GSI wheel?
Well, the pedals are something called Thought. So it's twin pistons that push against each other. So it's actual pistons, it's not necessarily a load cell.
Okay.
So it gives, and with the elastomer in the middle, it actually genuinely feels like like fluid is in there. It really feels like a proper brake pedal. So you can feel like when you first put your foot down on the pedal and you press it hard, you can feel it sort of squish, and then you feel the resistance come in as it's sort of going to its maximum, force that it can take. So it feels like a genuine hydraulic pedal. So there's slightly difference. Whereas the Forte pedals, which I've got the Invictus, which are the top ones, and then you've got the Forte, which comes with a load cell. So there's a slight difference there. Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
But yeah, the GSI wheel is the Formula Pro Elite, and it is. I must admit, I am going to sell my direct drive, my Fanatec, and the Podium Hub, and I was thinking about selling this wheel as well, and going for the the P1, the GSI P1, which would be my dream. And then my rig is nearly complete.
And it is quite the rig. It is quite the rig. As someone who has multiple screens, and I can massively appreciate the amount of effort that goes into positioning and getting these aluminium frames the right way around. I mean,
absolutely.
The best thing about these rigs is their biggest drawback as well. They're so adjustable, but it takes a bit of effort sometimes to adjust it and get everything lined up. I think it was at least 8 weeks before I had my rig slightly close to where I needed my seat position.
That's it. I mean, to go back to what you were saying about your sort of go-kart feel, I mean, the way you run it off, or how you should run it off, is where your brake pedal is. So when you sit in your rig, if anyone's wondering whether they're, especially if you're finding that you get knee or wrist or arm ache or something like this in a long race, your brake pedal, if you sit in your rig, should be directly below your left foot. So it should be a straight line, because then when you push, you're pushing with the whole leg, not just your ankle or your knee. And that then saves your fatigue, and it also makes sure that you have the right amount of force, able to be pushed into the brake pedal. The accelerator can be wherever you want it from that point, but that's where the brake pedal should be. And then your arms should be around about 50 degrees, so in the bend. So if you put your hands on your steering wheel and then and look at your arms, there should be a 50-degree bend in your arm. That then means that when you turn, your wrist, when it goes, if you turn so that it's 90 degrees on your wheel, your wrist and arm will be in a straight line. So then you don't get any wrist ache or any arm ache. So there you go.
Yeah, you need to do a YouTube video on that.
Yeah, well, I actually learnt this from Acertec. So Acertec have done a video like this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was something I looked at, because I always used to get, it was really strange, I used to get really bad left wrist. I mean, it happened believe it or not, in a sim racing accident where I hurt myself. But I thought it was continually that was still playing up. And it turns out that when I turned to the right, my wrist would bend slightly different on my left wrist than my right. So it would that would be what causes the pain. So that's when I changed the way I sat, and it worked. So there you go.
Yeah, I will need to look at into that as well. I'm not sure my rheumatoid arthritis helps much, but any hints and tips? In fact, if he happens to be watching this back, or is watching it live, I saw someone in the RTO Discord mention that they really wanted an open wheel style steering wheel for their rig. Please be careful what you wish for. If you are going to get an open wheel style steering wheel, remember it is designed for open wheel racing, which often has a steering rotation of someplace from 320 to 440 degrees. That is not a lot of turn they're designed for. You will pull your pinkies out the socket. If you're going to get one, make sure it's wider than 300 millimeters, and make sure it's definitely what you want.
Yeah.
Because as someone that has one, like Linksy, you had one for a long time as well. You can get some really precise control, but it is a bit of a wrist killer. Like the small open wheel, especially for racing GT3 and everything. They're designed for open wheels specifically, and that like
100%.
within millimeters they're designed that way. So yeah, open wheel steering wheel. Certainly GT3, that wheel that you've got at the moment, that to me looks like a winner.
It is a beast. I must admit that the one thing that really did sort of change for me it wasn't the width of the wheel, it's the width of the grips. So my hands, I had the Fanatec V2, and basically I could wrap my fingers. I've got quite long fingers. I could wrap them right round the entire grip, and they would touch my hands. Whereas this, I mean, they won't. They go around about 2/3 around the grip, and that's it. So so that's what caught me more than the size of the wheel. It was actually the grip thickness, and then trying to sort of have full grip of the wheel. It was, that did take a while for my hands to get used to that. So yeah. Okay, we are ready to go for race 2.
Ooh, excellent. And we've done a quick interview while you're setting up, just so I can get you multitasking a bit more. I'm sure it won't take me much coercion for me to get you to praise the drivers in race number 1. That was clean as a whistle.
Yeah, and it turns out it's when I can't actually do it. I can't see all the incidents, so they actually behave themselves. So I've got no end of issue. It's like I said earlier. It's not a Linksy stream, but it is a Linksy stream. There was my ACC drive won't work, my ACC TV won't work. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, it's strange. But the guys did amazing. Every single one. There was good battles throughout the field. Again, unlucky for Jordan. He'd lost it through the fast sections. But I'm sure being close to the front, I'm sure he'll give everything in this in race number 2. It is a return of the battle from race 2 at Donington last week, actually, between Brett and Jordan Watson. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top of that this week.
Yeah, Simon actually just mentioned that in the chat as well. So this is going to be a very, 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 very fun race number 2.
Yeah, door banging was polite there, I think.
Wing mirror babies were born.
Yeah, it was door banging at the start. After that, it was full out war, I think, at the hairpin. So it was a bit interesting, but never mind.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that the helmet design for both drivers in the second one was all camo. It was all green and brown.
That's it.
Full war paint. But yes, I'll let you go and jump into your commentary box, to your stewarding box, and the drivers. Boom, we are in. They are on the grid, and we are ready to go. Joe, thank you very much for joining in.
No worries,
enjoy the second race.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, sorry about the delay. That was SGP not allowing me to change the start time, so I need to look into that. So enjoy race 2. It's going to be interesting, especially watching the guys come through. But obviously, we're the fastest in race 1.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Thank you very much again, Joe. He's going to sneak off to his stewarding box, where he sits with a cup of tea and some rich tea biscuits, feet up, casually watching. And I can't say blame him.
Oh, by the way, no refs for race 2. He's not able to race.
Okay, and Richard Gasson's leading the pack? No, that's a telemetry thing. Never mind. Sorry, it's got Gasson at the top of the pile now, but he's sitting down the order. That's okay. That'll right itself as we go around the last corner. That's fine. No ref 6 for race number 1. We've just been told as well. Let me bring up the race screen. We'll turn that off. We'll put that on. And there is race leader off the line. Will he be race leader into turn number 1? The battle of the Lambos will ensue. And over the rear spoiler, that is the 2 RTO Mercedes of Whittaker and Nergard. Marcel, pray for his internet connection. Schneepman leading the way in the silvers. Gasson will of course be at the back of the silvers. We can see he is there next to Ben Knight, who is leading the way for the AMS. Of course, Sidlowski, there he is just ahead of Gasson. So yeah, even though it says Gasson's at the top of the timing tower, he is physically, we can see exactly where he should be. And of course, Demetrius Zlatnik, quick change, quiet chat. He does like to put a different livery on for both races. Sticking with that tradition, it is the blue Team Snail Esports Ferrari that he's busting out, and I do think I like this one a bit better. Yeah, the blue does look nice. Let's see what's happening up at the front of the field, or let's keep an eye on Luke Southall. No, we won't, because we're going to keep an eye on Jordan Watson and Peter Brett up at the front. His foot down, it's flat out, and it's flying into turn number 1. The 2 Lamborghinis are going to go. It's a great start by Watson. He's kept him at bay. The 2 Mercedes in the background are going side by side. There's Elliot Simpson having a look up the inside to see. Oh, and there's been a bit of contact. Oh, and that's an upset into turn number 1. That is Peter Brett that's taken an unfortunate contact. There's been a massive concertina effect. We'll jump straight back and have a look at that one. And I think it was the 2 Mercedes behind him, and I've gone a bit far back on the replay, but that's okay, we can live with it. So here is Peter Brett then into turn number 1. He is out of the race. Whittaker and Nergard in the background. Oh, he's touched the curb. Oh, and that's just a slight knock-on effect. He's even got himself out the way. I believe that was Dan Watts. Yes, it was Dan Watts then just making that contact happen. Unfortunately, Brett in the pits. Up at the front, Jordan Watson showing a clean pair of heels to Whittaker and Page at the minute. Southall in 4th. In the silvers while all that's been going on, Christoph Holzer is taking the lead ahead of Schneepman now in 2nd, Sharinga in 3rd, and in the arms it is Knight, Blythe and Hazelton. Oh no, Blythe is off the track. He was in 2nd, Hazelton off the track. I think there's been a bit of contact between Blythe and Hazelton as well. Let's see if we can see what's happening here. So it's Blythe who is ahead at the moment. He is in 2nd place. He is right behind them. Oh, yep, and someone... yeah, so that wasn't a good angle to see that incident. There was something going on in the background on the way into the chicane there, so we didn't quite see that in all of its glory. And you want to talk about curse of the commentator, I can only apologise to Joe after saying he sits in the box, in the steer's box, with his feet up and a cup of tea and a Ritz tea biscuit. Yeah, they'll firmly be on the table now. The pencil will be getting sharpened. Up at the front, it's Watson, Whittaker and Page leading the way. Page already taking the fastest lap. Southall and Simpson 4th and 5th. Then followed by a trio of silver, Holzer, Schneepman and Sharinga. The podium sitters at the moment in the silver bench. Nergard, after having to take some avoiding action in that opening lap incident, finds himself 9th overall, but still 6th in the pros, with Cormac Quinn and Paul Sidlowski making a charge through the silvers at the minute. Gasson still languishing at the back of the silver field. He's got Dan Watson there in the BMW. I was just trying to compute who that was, but it is Watson, of course, again, the driver involved in that opening turn 1 incident. So he's going to make his way back past those silvers. That is a long way to go to get back up to his teammate Nergard and start getting some more points under his belt. Nice Woodcut, so close to a podium in race number 1. He's not far off the podium already in race number 2. Duffy and Listovsky now ahead of him. Zlatnik and Knight, the two drivers still leading the way in class, and Knight got a decent gap back to Zlatnik now. Zlatnik, who won race 1, of course, he's already back up to second place, so that is a phenomenal drive in the opening few laps by Zlatnik. His teammate Woodcut putting all the pressure onto Duffy. It's Aston on Aston action at the Hungaroring through sector number 3 on lap number 2. The track temperature hasn't yielded any at all, still at 40 degrees. Look Southall, it's going to be 40 degrees on his front splitter as he is so close to the exhaust pipes of the Mercedes. We're actually on the side of that car, so that analogy completely wrong. Elliot Simpson lurking in the background in the McLaren, not so much lurking actually, more poking the drivers ahead with a big stick. He is looking to get some overtakes done. We saw the pace that he had in race number 1, and he has not let up any in race number 2, exiting sector number 2 through turns 8 and 9. It's always more difficult, I think, to name corners when they're just numbers, because that was actually only turn number 4. But through the chicane, oh, they'll make it through. Look at the back of those cars bouncing ahead of them. How did they keep that up lap after lap? Well, we saw a couple of drivers that couldn't keep it up lap after lap in race number 1. They're going to need to in race number 2. So close is the field. Van Coverdon coming under all kinds of pressure still. There's the rear view mirror, and it's Dan Watts behind them. Watts does look to be carrying a bit of damage there. No, not quite. Realises he's out of position. Cormac Quinn running well wide there. That's going to be a track warning there. The right hand tyres over the left hand side of that curb in. Oh, and that's all kinds of extra steering input that Van Coverdon's had to put in there, and Watts is going to go round at the outside there. Did well to save that. Richard Gasson is going to smell blood in the water, as well as Van Coverdon manages to hang on then, and Dan Watts comes into the pits. He got a drive through. Dan got a drive through penalty. Oh wow, so it's gone from bad to worse for Dan Watts then. A drive-through penalty for track limits in the opening 6 minutes. Jordan Watson leads the way with Liam Page in second still. Are once again the fastest driver out on track. He took the fastest lap in race number 2. And much like a couple of other drivers, he is continuing on in race number 2 as he did in race number 1. He took the fastest lap in race 1, is what I was trying to say very quickly there. Elliot Simpson, the other driver, doing that very same thing. He is applying all the pressure at the drivers ahead. The Porsche really feeling the pain on that back spoiler then, as Southall winner in race number 1 got Whittaker, Page and Watson planted firmly ahead of him, and Elliot Simpson, who finished second, right behind him this time. Simpson, could he get one over on Southall in this race? Couldn't make any impressions. Gap that he pulled in race number 1, but he's got Southall perfectly in front of him. Richard Gasson too, got Coverdon just ahead of him now. Dan Watts no longer involved in this battle. Tom Solis, no stranger to battling these drivers, certainly from race 1. It looks like it's going to continue on again at race number 2. We do love these reverse order grids. Daniel Zlatnik, he really does love just racing, full stop. He's back up to second place. He's got Litovsky back up onto the podium as well. Third place there, Duffy in 4th, still fending off Woodcut in 5th. Heselton now in 6th position with Blythe in 7th. Ryan McCord looking for more overtakes in race number 2. This one to get himself up to 4th, but it is his teammate Sidlowski that is ahead of him at the minute. Let's see what they can do. Oh, that might have been from race control. Dan Watts got a drive through from race control for the turn 1 contact. So yeah, it was Dan slightly late on the brakes, made contact with the Mercedes. The Mercedes hit the Lambo, as we saw. So yeah, so it wasn't a drive-through for track limits that Watts received. It was a drive-through from race control. Litovsky has received. Oh, what happened there? I looked away for a millisecond. That's Shiringa. I can't even jump on board. He's tumbling down. Quickly, give me that. So let's have a look then. So out of turn 1 into turn number 2, yes, Sadlowski is safely around the outside. The Lamborghini really gripping the inside of the track there, doing well. You can see the RTO BMW behind them looking very quick. Oh, I got ever so slightly unsettled, so he couldn't get the acceleration. The car behind's just gone straight into the back of him, unfortunately. He wasn't carrying the exit speed. There was obviously no malice in that contact whatsoever. It was just a Lamborghini, didn't have any exit speed, and he got caught a cropper there, and that is a big spin in a whole lot of positions that he's going to drop. And Ben Nergar's now dropping down the order. Ben Nergar's now dropping down the order. It is all action all the time. That is... oh, so it's already happened. Whatever happened has already happened. And he's down behind Richard Gasson, who's still down at the back of the Silvers. Latowski's coming into the pits to take his pit stop. To take his drive-through penalty, sorry. Yeah, my brain is really struggling to compute everything that's going on, because it's up and down the order at the minute. It's so close still between Watson, Page, Whittaker, Southall, Simpson and Christoph Holzer leading the way for the Silvers. Got a big gap to Marcel Snapeman. Paul Sadlowski not far behind with Ryan McCord, his teammate, still lurking in the background ever so patiently. Brett's misfortune is Liam and Luke's gift. It most certainly is. Causing a collision for Dan Watson. Indeed it was. Ben had contact after that Lambo spin. That was what Nergard and Gasson collided at the fast left turn 4. Okay. So yeah, that is exactly what I thought happened. We just didn't quite catch it on the replay, unfortunately. Let's see what's happening up at the front. Oh, look at the position that Whittaker finds himself in. He is fully engaged in trying to get past Liam Page, while Elliot Simpson set the fastest lap. They're going to go side by side through the penultimate corner, past the pit entry and into the final turn. Can the Mercedes hold it around the outside? Oh, he's lost the back. There's a whole lot of lateral movement. He's going to do well to hang on to the car, never mind the positions. As we can see the Porsche go through, Elliot Simpson goes through as well. So massive bad luck there for the Mercedes of Whittaker. He was really applying the pressure to Page here, giving him a good run. Page in fact running wide on the exit to turn 13. And look at the run that he had. He had it up the inside. He just needs to hold on to it around the outside. He's just offline, but there goes the back of the Mercedes. There goes the Porsche. Here comes the McLaren. Oh, and he tries to hang on to it and get the foot back down. The Mercedes rails against him once again. He manages to hang on to it, but definitely not those positions. So Simpson's patience paying off and finding him up to 4th with that fastest lap under his belt. Southall, Page and Watson still up there leading the way. Christoph Holzer got a good gap back to Marcel Snapeman. The same can't be said for Snapeman over Sadlowski at the minute, and Ryan McCord still perfectly poised there to steal a podium position should one become available. It is Zlatnik, the all-conquering Am, once again finds himself leading the way in the Ams, and Nige Woodcut. Let's jump on a replay and see if we can see any overtakes there. No, we can't, but let's watch Nige in the Team Snail Esports Aston Martin anyway, because he's up onto the podium. Fought so hard to get one in race number 1, couldn't quite pull off. He's up to 2nd in race number 2. Can he hang on to it? He's got gas on, and Jack Duffy not too far behind, so it's certainly not impossible. It's certainly more than possible. But Gaston looking quick behind. That is Jack Duffy just getting out of the way for Ben Nergard, who is a division above Page, Southall and Simpson, still looking at the back of Jordan Watson's Lamborghini. As you can see, oh, and that is a big wiggle there by the Ferrari. So that's why that popped up on the incident board. But the Ferrari there getting all kinds of lively through that chicane. And Page, Southall is the championship leader. He definitely doesn't want to do that too often when he's got him behind. Page we saw fastest lap in race number 1. Snapeman and Sadlowski looking very close. Marcel Snapeman. Oh, that's Ryan McCord. Sadlowski's through. Sadlowski's through, he's got the overtake done in the opening few corners. Let us have a look at this one into turn number 1. Has a big look up the inside. Pulls back in, gets a good rotation through turn 1. So too does Ryan McCord. Oh, and it's a bit deep on the exit for Marcel Snapeman. The Mercedes could not get the foot down, he was really wide there. And coming into turn number 2, that is a good move then by Sadlowski. That puts him back up to second position and gives Ryan McCord a very good look at third place. He did another driver looking to improve on his position in the previous race. A podium tantalisingly close once again. Watson still a second ahead of Page. Page only got 4:10 still, separating him from championship leader Southall. Elliot Simpson second in race 2 still, very much in podium contention himself. No podium threats at the minute for Zlatnik, he is flying. And Jack Duffy is up into third place then. Ben Knight losing a couple of positions. He's back down in 20th position. Dan Watts has just set the fastest lap of the race, down in 19th position, 1 minute 43.5. So we're certainly heading closer to the lap times that we saw in race number 1. Not quite sure that we'll get as quick though. 40-degree track temperature at the minute, so it is toasty warm out there, it is safe to say. As the drivers crack on, the tyres could well be splitting around the tyre walls in these temperatures. Watson still running beautifully in the Pulse Sim Sport, Lambo, Page and Southall. Still trying to chase him down, Southall. Looking for a way past his teammate still. Won't be looking to do anything too crazy here. Podium here gives them some very, very good points towards the rest of the championship. That race 1 win, of course, definitely going to give him a big push towards taking the championship. Still a lot of racing to go though, so definitely needs to maximise points at every single race. Here's Dan Watts getting the overtake done on Woodkit. He's now got 4 seconds to make up to Nergard, who is behind the silvers, and leader Zlatnik as well. And that is a drive-through for track limits, and that's Van Coverdon in 5th place in the silvers. So not even 20 minutes into the race, and that is Van Coverdon picking up a drive-through for track limits. And that is going to see him. Oh yeah, oh of course, yes, my apologies. I really need to put this in the notes as well. Any drive-through penalties for track limits are wiped by race control, pending a review at the end of the race. If it is, upon analysis, if the driver has taken egregious track cuts, they will be given a time penalty. But yeah, say for instance a driver ends up off track because someone's come up the inside or someone's lost control and they've taken avoiding action, those types of thing. Hardly seems fair. Oh, Ben Nergard almost into the back of Gasson. They've got much more pace than Gasson at the minute. So yeah, that penalty has been removed and that will be reviewed, and we'll see after review if any time is added at the end of the race. We'll see how this podium plays out though. We've got 8 minutes left of the race. We've got 0.8 of a second separating the podium. It is Lambo, Ferrari and Porsche. Then McLaren and Mercedes, 5 manufacturers in the top 5. Oh, and that is another lively exit there by Liam Page. I'm going to say lively actually, it was a bit sluggish. Oh, and he's opened himself up to the cutback. Luke Southall, you want to know why he's the championship leader? He can pounce on mistakes like that. He's run a bit deep through the last corner. Is Elliot Simpson going to say thank you very much? This is why he is a championship protagonist, almost making the most of the battle between the SOP2 then. Let's jump back on board and watch this from Simpson's point of view. Liam needs to beat Luke today. Alright, okay, yeah, top 5 nice and close, yes, Liam needs to be looked today, and that is where we can see them going side by side. They tried to put it around the outside, so close they got, right on the inside the Porsche. doing everything he can to get past, and the McLaren very nearly pouncing as the teammates battle into turn number 1, unbelievably close, and there is the exit on the way into turn number 4. There is nothing separating these 3 podium drivers, and in fact Whittaker could be the best positioned out of everybody if they keep battling. I suppose look how close he's getting to the back of that. Nothing separating the two of them on the way out with turn number 5. Sadlowski hunting down the win as well in the silvers at the minute. He's less than 3/10 behind Christoph Holzer, and Ryan McCord all over the back of Marcel Snapeman for the final podium position in the arms, in the silvers. The arms, they're looking pretty spread out at the minute. It was Latnik 2 seconds up on Nigel Woodcock, who's got a second and a half on Duffy. There is nothing separated these 3 though. In fact, these 4, let's give Whittaker some credit. We can see just how close he is. The view he's got, suddenly there was 3 cars. All you can see was the back of a McLaren, and then suddenly a Porsche and a Ferrari appear out of the front. Jordan Watson is disappearing out at the front. He's got 2.1 seconds separating him from this battling pack, and look at the Porsche trying to unsettle, looking to try and force a mistake, looking to try and find any way past that he can, but Elliot Simpson is there ready to pounce. If he does make a move, he needs to make sure that move absolutely holds, or Simpson will be in there looking for any positions that he can take. We're on lap number 11 and it is not slowing down any. Easy breakaway for Watson. Now they're battling. It is definitely, we can see over his rear spoiler just how close they are. He's got a bit of a gap, as we say. They are close to each other, nowhere near as close to him. Christoph Holzer still coming under pressure from Paul Sadlowski. Sadlowski looking for another race win in the silvers, and of course Marcel Snapeman still fending off Ryan McCord. That is the McLaren of Van Coverdon, because Snapeman has been overtaken by Ryan McCord. So let's see how this one happened then. So on board with McCord, this is out of the last couple of corners. So turn 14 gets a good exit there. Oh, really on that inside curb, and not much of an exit width applied there by the Mercedes, and the BMW is absolutely going to destroy him along the straight. Look at the slipstream kicking in. Snapeman sending him up the inside, trying to rob him of as much momentum as he can, make sure he has to brake early, the car rotated. Bit of a bump on the way through, but it's Ryan McCord who's now up onto the podium in the silver, so still changing positions. And Jordan Watson still running away with it, as Liam Page is still fending off teammate Southall, and Velocity McLaren driver Elliot Simpson. James Whittaker still patiently lurking in the background, and not a bad position to be in. 5th place at the minute. Anything untoward happens ahead, and he can find himself up onto the podium. Van Coverdon's picked up a 5-second penalty from the race stewards. Woodcock is picking up the pace as well, actually. He's got that gap down to 1 second to his teammate Zlatnik. There could be an almighty battle between these two in the closing stages. Snapeman is still hanging on to the back of McCord, with Van Coverdon looking to get involved in this battle as well. An equilibrious 4/10 separate Southall from Page and Simpson. Simpson still hanging on the back. Do we have a good rear view mirror? No, we won't, so we'll jump on to helmet cam. We still see Whittaker in the background. We're 12 laps, 22 minutes in. These races are far too short. Paul Sadlowski is still closing in on Christoph Holzer. I'm sure he'll be agreeing that the races are far too short. Does he need another lap or two? Can he get his way past Holzer? Phenomenal drive by Holzer so far in the Lamborghini. And it is going to be a great battle between these two very deserving winners. So yeah, whoever wins this one, massive congratulations. It's going to go right down to the wire, as Van Coverdon looking to do the same to Snapeman, although with a 5-second penalty. It does seem like a bit of a fruitless task forcing the issue at the minute, so likely to just sit behind, knowing fine well the position is going to be lost anyway to the timing charts. We'll see a car in the background looking a bit lively on the corner exit. Not sure if that was McCord or Snapeman in. It was definitely one of the Mercedes. Oh, Elliot Simpson, he's very close. That's Alpha Dog Meat getting lapped in, actually, so they've come into some blue flag traffic, and Elliot Simpson almost given the gift of a podium position, while the blue flags were making their way past the blue flag. Richard Gasson, one of the quickest drivers in qualifying in race 1 for the Silvers, all over the back of Sharinga. Very much damage limitation at this point, currently sitting in 9th place. Sorry, dead last in the Silvers. Not going to get that move done into turn number 1. Oh, and Sadlowski's got it done on Holzer. Sadlowski's got it done on Holzer into turn number 1, puts the car up the inside, gets it exactly the same time on the brake as well, and he rotates that BMW absolutely beautifully through turn number 1, and on the exit, Paul Sadlowski. Just as I was saying, does he need a lap or two more to get the overtake done? No, all he needs, Mr. Commentator, is 4 more corners, and Holzer certainly not giving up the ghost, and Sadlowski making it an interesting one through turns 2 and 3 there. Almost gave the position straight back again, but he is now the race leader for the Silvers, and Jordan Watson. Oh, and they've all closed right back up again. It's on the last lap. The leader is on the last lap, and there's only... there's less than a second separating the top 4. Whitaker still lurking in the background, and they're actually coming round the last corner now. It's going to be a straight train across the line, but Pulse Sim Sports, Jordan Watson, looks like he's going to... Oh no, there's still 38 seconds to go. There is another lap to go. And there we go. We've just been led astray by the in-game engineer. Thanks very much for that one, but that's even better because we've got another lap. Oh, the Porsche has gone full send up the inside. He's made that one stick. He's made contact with his teammate on the way out, and that's absolutely ruined it for both of them, because Elliot Simpson is going to sneak on through. Surely it's a straight drag race into turn number 2, but it's Page that's managed to hang on to that one. He went full Leroy Jenkins into turn number 1 there, the championship leader doing championship leader things, and it is Luke Southall into turn number 1 in the Porsche. He saw his teammate have a tentative look up the inside. He decided, if you're not going to, I am. Oh, used a bit much of the exit on the way out there, really opened up. You can see the headlights flashing behind him as you can see Elliot Simpson tears alongside, and he does get himself back onto the podium, but it's not at the expense of the Porsche, it is the Ferrari. So Luke and Liam absolutely battling it out right down to the death. Jordan Watson has been gifted over half a second of a gap, where Liam Page has been gifted a last lap battle to get back on the podium. Simpson is now just ahead of him. Luke Southall back up to second position for the first time in the race. Absolutely incredible racing between them all. There's still a battle going on between McCord and Holzer for the race win. Oh no, sorry, McCord and Holzer are getting close. That's for second and third. Can McCord see himself up onto second position? Jordan Watson sees himself out of turn number 13 and into turn number 14, leading the way. He's going to cross the line. He's led from start to finish, and he is going to cross the line in first place. Luke Southall is going to drag race out of the last corner, closely followed once again by Elliot Simpson. This time notice for second and third place. There is Watson. They're taking the checker flag. Southall second, Simpson third, Liam Page in fourth place, James Whitaker in fifth. Paul Sadlowski is going to come round the last corner to take the race win. Let's quickly watch him cross the line as we can see Holzer and McCord battling across the line, second and third. 3/10 once again separating McCord from the driver ahead, but this time he is on the podium. Schneepmanen finishing the race. Go on the internet, Marcel. Fourth place here, Van Coverden in fifth with a 5-second penalty. In the arms it is Daniel Zlatnik or Demetrius or Declan or whichever name it is I accidentally throw his way, and his teammate would get half a second behind. Is he going to give him the race win? Of course he's not. Forza Ferrari, Daniel Zlatnik leading home a Team Snail Esports 1-2. Congratulations to the best liveries on the grid, as Nigel Woodco is the other driver there for Team Snail Esports in the Aston, bringing home second place, and it is in 2 Astons on the podium. When was the last time you were able to say that? Jack Duffy bringing it home in third place, Ben Knight in fourth, and Colin Heselton in a mess at the side of the road. But Jordan Watson, what a drive that was. Lucas Latowski dropping down the order as well, seeing him and Brian Bond cross line. Oh, Brian Bond looking a little bit worse for wear there in the Ferrari as well. the last corner and crosses the line. So let's do the untidy stuff first. And then look at the standings. In the arms, Latnik and Woodcut. Team Snail Esports 1-2. Only 2.5 tenths separating them across the line. And it's 2 Astons on the podium, as I say. Duffy in 3rd place. Mercedes, Ben Knight in 4th. Hazelden in 5th. It was Blythe in 6th. Listovsky finishing in 7th. And Bond in 8th. Alpha Dogmeat finishing a lap down. In the silvers, Paul Sidlowski strengthening that grip on the championship, bringing home another race win. Holzer and McCord joining him on the podium. Marcel Snapeman bringing it home. Come on, the internet. In 4th place, Van Coverden in 5th, and he's going to hang on to 5th despite the penalty. But Tom Solis in 6th position. It's Cormac Quinn and Jort Sharinga 7th and 8th, and Gasson bringing home 9th position. In the pros, what a race. 8 tenths of a second separating the podium across the line. 1.2 seconds separating the top 4 across the line. I will never be disparaging about Hungaroring again. Watson, Southall and Simpson, they are our main podium protagonists, with Page and Whittaker at 4th and 5th. Dan Watts is going to get the fastest lap in 6th position, just ahead of his teammate Ben Nergard. He's going to get 7th place. RTO Season 6, sponsored by Luke Addison. We have still got so much more to come. 2 25-minute races over the 8-round calendar. 16 races in total. The best 14 scores for each driver will count towards their championship total. And we have still to come Zandvoort, Suzuka and Monza. Yep, that's right. I understand you cannot hit the subscribe button quick enough. Make sure you hit the bell to get the notifications. Get into the Discord as well. Get involved in the racing. Even if you just don't want to get involved in the racing and just want some of the free lessons and the information that Joe Boyle hands out, jump in there. It will make you a better driver. Get onto Linksy, of course. Get onto his Twitch channel as well. And if nothing else, you can just copy what he does out on track. It works, believe me, it definitely does. If there's a driver out there that knows how to make up places in the races, it's our Joe Boyle, so it is. Luke Addison, of course, proud sponsor of the series. It's a platform where you can develop further as a sim racer in Assetto Corsa Competizione through setups and coaching. Luke wants to help people who share his interest in sim racing by creating setups that could help you get your lap times down by having a setup that is stable, fast and consistent. He is also looking to offer coaching if you need guidance on where to find those extra tenths or seconds that you are missing. A little progress each day adds up to big results. So get yourself over to Luke's website and get yourself these setups downloaded, get yourself some coaching booked as required. Again, personally, massively recommend the Ferrari 296. I've taken it around Watkins Glen and Silverstone. Just an absolutely incredible drive. So make sure you jump over there and support a content creator who is supporting sim racing. But there we go, we'll bring up the highlights. Another week in the books, and what a week it was once again. Round number 5, certainly continuing on where the previous rounds have left off. And I know, much like myself, you all can't wait for that next round at Zandvoort. An absolute worldie of a track. So cannot wait for that one to take place. But that is all from me this evening. I will of course leave you with the highlights. Thank you to everyone subscribing and following this evening. Again, get over to Linksy_DSY on Twitch, and of course RTO here on YouTube. Share the stream far and wide. Spread the sim racing love. And I will see you all next time out for 2 races at Zandvoort. My name, John Wright, aka Double O Raven. It has been my pleasure and privilege once again to bring you the broadcast this evening. Thank you to the RTO team for making broadcasting for you guys. But it's great to work with professionals. Not that I don't other places, but yeah, it's great to get things done. And yeah, I will see you next time. So until then, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.